did this particular golf club stop Taylormade from going bankrupt? I can't believe that one went in. After doing more research into the club that I have here today, Taylormade has one of the most interesting and exciting comebacks that there's been in golf brand history. 1997, Adidas bought Taylormade from a French company for 1.4 billion. This is before the year 2000, so I can't stress enough how much money that is. 20 years later, after acquiring Adams and Ashworth, they then sell it to a private equity firm, KPS, for $425 million, which you don't have to be an incredible mathematician, adding inflation and everything else, that is quite a big loss. And around the time of 2016, golf was on somewhat of a decline. Not many people were looking to play the game as it was perceived an old man sport, and let's be honest, takes way too much time to actually complete 18 holes. However, what Adidas wasn't able to foresee, just like the majority of us, is a pandemic. The acquisitions of Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy joining the team, and you pair that up with a Tiger Woods comeback win at Augusta in 2019 using Taylormade clubs, which means KPS was able to make $1.2 billion profit over a 4-year period with a bit of streamlining. And don't get me wrong, every golf manufacturer definitely saw some upside in terms of market value and the overall demand for products in golf in general. But I have to say, one of the biggest achievements KPS had over that period is this bad boy right here. Now, before I get into the P series, and thank you to the boys at Replay Golf for supplying these for me today, the 2017 model, it's not all down to these irons, even though I will tell you why I think they play a huge part to Taylormade's success over the last 5 years or so. But Taylormade has some incredible, unfathomable luck over the last 5 years that even though we perceive them as the biggest name in golf, no question financially, and with the backing that they have in 2022, that very much confirms our initial thoughts. So let's address the first point of good fortune. Nike coming out of the golf club game, and the fact they are two of the biggest players and arguably still the biggest names in golf, Rory and Tiger, on their books. It was a great opportunity for KPS just acquiring Taylormade in 2016, that both of these players were up for grabs and new contracts. These are so forgiving, it's ridiculous. Any more to the right, I would have missed the golf club altogether. That's how far that came out the toe. Now, it's around the same time that Taylormade then released the P series, the P790, P770, the P30, but it's quite obvious through the next 2 years which club came out on top in terms of popularity and outgrossed every other single club produced from Taylormade over the next 2 years. So it goes without saying, the iron that I have in my hand today is beyond popular with the community. However, we have to be thinking that the P series irons, the P790 and the others, would be in manufacture a while. Adidas were unlucky not knowing how popular this brand of irons was going to be and how much influence it was going to have in the market. But you do have to give credit to KPS in terms of their marketing strategy, their streamlining, the cutting of tour pros apart from the big names, and the relentless social media that they have been able to put out, the viral videos, the use of their tour pros, which, let's be honest, they've done better than any other brand in the market. Oh, that is ripped. Go in. Heavily short. Well done. And I can't stress how important marketing is for the game of golf, the way we perceive golf clubs. Around the 2015, 2014 era, I would say Taylormade was in kind of their gimmick phase. I can't imagine that was always going to be built for long-term success. Whereas over the last 5 years, starting from the M1 series all the way up to the Sims, and then obviously the Stealth this year, not only are you getting top performance from the wood section, but the irons aesthetically look clean, they look sharp. And if you're a beginner, just like the unimaginable amount of people that started the game over the last 3 years did, you want something cool and sexy, but most importantly, forgiving, high launching, powerful, which is everything the P790 iron is. So you now have an outrageous product for the beginner market, but how do you get a hold of everyone else that's been playing for the last 25 years or so? That's a decent ball striker. Well, you asked Tiger Woods to win the 2019 Masters at Augusta for one of the most outrageous comebacks in history, only rivaled by Jack Nicklaus himself. And the fact both players were riddled in terms of back injury, actually so coincidental, it's scary. But Taylormade themselves knew how to pounce on that situation. The P7 TW irons, and if you're a great ball striker and been playing this game for a long time, you would be flat out lying to yourself if you weren't looking at getting yourself a commemorative set of P7 TW irons at the back end of 2019 when Taylormade brought them out. And then from that massive high, the golf industry took a big hit, which was only to follow from the biggest success stories in terms of sports I've ever seen. If you worked in the golf industry around the pandemic, at the start of it, you were a golf pro, you had a shop, you thought that was it. I even made a video saying how difficult it's going to be for local pros to survive throughout the pandemic, because golf was on the decline. People didn't have time, people didn't have the money, people didn't have the resources to go and play the game, and there were many people that thought the same. However, what then happened was the market cap of our sport, golf, grew by over 3 billion. And now it's 2022. The P790 still, I would say, is one of the most popular irons in terms of getting fitted for and used, even though it hasn't changed over the last 6 years or so. And every brand from Callaway to Ping, Srixon, Mizuno has followed suit with their hollow back, players looking iron from the back, but ultimate forgiveness and power from the front. But there's no question in my mind who started it, and ultimately who's reaped the rewards from it the most. And I know I can back up my thoughts and reasonings on the popularity on this particular model of iron, is that this club is almost 5 years old and you can still sell it secondhand yourself on eBay for almost £100 a stick. No other iron in our history has been able to retain that kind of value for so long, mainly due to the outrageous demand people have for this product. Now, even though I know this was KPS's goal from the start, come in, streamline it, make it more effective, make it more profitable, take out the losses, I bet even they couldn't realise the fortune they were about to amass over the next 5 years with the wins, and not only that, the production of equipment. It goes to show they've sold it 2021 for 1.6 billion reportedly. The question is, will that growth continue now the market's somewhat slowed down when it comes to new golfers, and with the ever looming recession on the way? Now you've heard about Taylormade's success, you might like to hear about Nike's somewhat downfall in the equipment business, and were they right or wrong to get out of the golf club manufacturing side of our sport? Catch you later.